Everything that you're about to watch is 100% made up. I'm going to hypothetically go over if I was selling drugs in high school, this is what I would have learned. So, first, some backstory on my hypothetical situation. It was beginning of junior year, and my best buddy came up to me with the stupidest idea I've ever heard. Let's sell vapes, which are just basically vape pens that people can hit nicotine or whatever it is, like an electronic cigarette. Everyone in pretty much in all high schools use these nicotine vapes, or at least in the area that we were in. He was saying that he was in the bathroom and every person was asking if anyone else had any vapes. No one did. There was a massive drought inside the school. So he found this Chinese website that was selling these things to just about anyone. All you had to do was click, are you over the age of 18? You could say yes. And so we put together $57 each and we bought 3 boxes of these nicotine. So $57 from me, $57 from him. We shipped it to our friend's house. About a week later, they came in and within one day we sold out. So the market price on these nicotine sticks were $15. We said, dude, let's just sell them for 12. We'll be under the market price. Instantly, day one, we sold out. So each box has 10 nicotine sticks. We got 3 boxes. So we had 30 times 12 is $360. Instantly, we sold out day one. So we just reinvested all of the money back into the business. Another week later, came back. We had a bunch more boxes. Again, within 1 to 2 days, we sold out of everything. We knew we were onto something. There was still a massive drought and everybody needed things. So this was the first business lesson of market pricing and market demand. Where we were, there was unlimited demand for these things. Every single high schooler in the world wanted these nicotine sticks, and then there was very low supply. No one had them. So what did we do? We fulfilled the market desires to get these nicotine sticks. And then the second business lesson that we learned was customer service was everything. Everyone else who sold these things were drug dealers. We were businessmen. We treated it as a business. We had a 100% satisfaction guarantee policy to where if it didn't work or there was anything wrong with it, we would give you a new one, we'd give you your money back. It didn't really matter. We knew that that policy was going to attract new customers from different cities that we didn't already know, as well as there was going to be some bad actors in it. Obviously, you just account for that and then you write it off. But it got us more customers than it spent. So we were also very, very strict on always being super friendly because we knew I never liked any of these nicotine sticks. I never did them because I just did not enjoy them, but everyone else did. And the people who we used to buy them from were incredibly gangster because usually people who sell these things, they sell other drugs. We only sold nicotine. And so because we were very friendly, we were not in the nicest neighborhood. There was a bunch of schools in our city, but the surrounding cities that were very affluent, they were still buying their nicotine from kind of the hood people in our city. So what we got to do was take all of their customers because they wanted to work with people or they wanted to do business with people that they felt more safe around. So just changing the dynamics of the relationship and showing that you are more friendly and enthusiastic, basically just having a good customer service policy basically gave us a monopoly on the supply or a monopoly on selling these things to the surrounding areas. And within a short period of time, we were selling massive, massive, massive quantities, which led to the next lesson, which is anything that can go wrong will go wrong. I will tell you a story of the first time I got into some real trouble. So I remember it like the back of my hand. I sold to this guy who was at a surrounding school that I didn't really know. And within a few hours, he rang up the customer service policy. He said, hey, then this nicotine stick isn't working anymore. Can I have a new one? And at this point, we were just driving around all day, every day, because we had constant customers. All we were getting was text, 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 text. And I just said, all right, fine, I'll go and I'll just give him his money back. I'm not going to give him a new one. I'm just going to tell him I don't want to do business with him anymore. At this point, I was a cocky fucking bastard because we were making more money than I ever knew even existed at that time. It was really crazy because there was still very, very low supply and we were running a pretty good business. And so he didn't like this at all because I didn't care about his business, but he felt disrespected and I can see why. So the next day he actually texted me, said, hey, can I buy a box? Which basically means he wanted a bulk order and he was saying that he wanted to start selling them. Had a gut feeling that this did not seem right, but since my ego is on top of the world, I was very naive. I didn't care. I said, okay, whatever. All I saw was $100 because that's what we were selling it for. So I remember going to the back of this CVS parking lot, which was already kind of sketchy, and I would be driving around all day, so I had to pee really bad. So I ran to the corner. I took a piss just in the on the ground or whatever, because I was literally going to pee my pants because I'd been driving for hours selling these things, making a bunch of money like I was just doing every single day. Then I go to open my trunk. I'm just talking to this guy. Then boom, I get hit with a metal pipe on the back of my head. Two of his buddies show up out of nowhere. I get kind of jumped. They try and steal some stuff, but it was kind of hidden. So they didn't really steal much. I should have taken that as a bigger lesson. But what we did is just have a higher screening process for the customers. And so anything that can go wrong will go wrong. You will lose money. There were other times where we bought bulk orders from people, got scammed, and always just saw it as a learning lesson to try and improve and get better, to try and be a little bit smarter in the future. When you lose money is when your ego gets too big. And my ego was at the absolute top of the moon because everything was going well. And so that is the time when you need to check yourself the absolute most, when things are going well, because you don't learn things when times are good, because we were mainly just lucky. We had a product that everyone wanted in a market that everyone needed it. We were not that good. We were just lucky with our market placement, not with our actual business. And then gets into the real lessons of marketing, how we started to scale and take this to the next level, because this was taking up all of our time. I eventually started a new Snapchat and we started doing a bunch of giveaways. With this Snapchat, within a week, I was getting over 1,000 views per story with all people in our city and surrounding cities that were trying to buy nicotine. That is a ridiculous amount of people in 1 week on a brand new Snapchat. And the way we did that was just through some basic marketing and giveaways, and basically having people that we sold to shout out the new Snapchat, with the goal of, one, getting our names detached from selling these things, to also just building a brand. It was called Dispo Hub, and it was becoming a brand. I remember later on, I got recognized in public as Dispo Hub. I never once showed my face, but because of past experiences, that was just the case. And so with this, we really started to take it to the next level, where I was getting, quite literally 100 people adding me per day, just nonstop text messages. I was looking to hire a full-time assistant to just text people back because it was so hard to actually manage all the inflow of customers. And so this was kind of the first avenue of how views equal potential customers. When I'd post a story of anything, we would sell out instantly. And so the problem was always supply. One of the big problems that we had was always getting enough supply. What we should have done the first time that we both put in $57 is, instead of just reinvesting the $360 that we had made, we should just put our entire net worth into this, because we knew we would have made the money back. Me and him, we probably had a few $1,000 saved up. We could have grew the business so much faster. When something works really, really well, we should have a 10x down on it a lot sooner, because we always had a supply problem. It was never a demand problem. Eventually, when we had the supply, and what was actually harder was I was just driving around all day, every single day, was we started to hire people. And this was incredibly difficult. So I'll first go over the dynamic of how we were doing it, because it's not just hiring people, because we want to get people motivated, as well as run a pretty solid business. What's the best way to motivate someone? They have skin in the game. So instead of hiring someone to drive and deliver these things, what we were doing was we were eventually getting these boxes for about disposals for $35 to $40. And then you could sell the box for about $200. And so because the dynamic of the disposables changed over time, they started to have a lot more puffs. They were worth a lot more money. And so the drivers, we would give them a box for free. They would make about $200. We'd have them give us $100 back when they'd come back for the next box. So we would pocket about $60 to $65, and they would get the $100 profit, which they didn't have any money down. They made money. We gave them all the clients. So all they actually had to do was drive. So they were making a lot of money. And so we were scaled up to 10 different drivers. And let's say every single day for a decent period of time, we'd give a driver a box. They would sell it, come back the next day, because we had all the customers. Every single person in these cities and surrounding cities, where we basically had an empire that was built pretty much from nothing within a few months. This was all junior year of high school, this entire process. And so then I was just focusing on the bulk orders. And these were just the last few weeks of the business. I'm going to talk about how it blew up remarkably, but we were making so much money. It was insane. And so when we started to expand, we first time just brought on one person to do this, and then two, then three, then four, then five, then six, then seven, eight, nine, 10. And we had 10 people. But the problem is we scaled way too fast. We went from having no drivers to 10 drivers within a week, because the drivers were selling out so fast. And so we were just like, well, let's just get on another driver. And eventually we were people that were driving for us. We didn't really know it all. And it didn't matter because we were making so much ridiculous money. It was just a no-brainer. It was like, okay, there's some fat that we're going to lose some money because we might not be the smartest, but we're making so much money it doesn't matter. We just want more of our time back. We want to buy back our time. So when we were hiring people, we made a ton of mistakes, which I've remade those mistakes with my current business over the past few years many, many times. I obviously didn't learn from it then. I have since learned from that the hard way in my more recent business ventures, which I would never sell drugs again. And I wouldn't even really count it drugs because nicotine is legal. It's impossible for teenagers to get it. I guess it might actually be illegal for teenagers. I think that's a new law though, where you have to be 18 to smoke nicotine or get nicotine. The main things that I learned were the market that you're in is everything. And now I'm in a business. My business model today is such high in demand where I have unlimited potential clients because I thought very hard about what marketplace do you want to be in. And now I'm in the same position where every single person wants to work with me, but I don't want to work with them because I can't scale enough. And I'm just taking a much more methodical approach instead of hiring 10 people that I don't even know and figuring it out. But I'm also realizing that you always just need to solve a new problem. Every single day, there is some sort of problem that was going on with selling these nicotines. Every business, like the business that I have now, something goes wrong every single day. That's always going to happen. As a business owner, you are just constantly solving problems. Then relationships are everything. The relationships with the big time suppliers, the Chinese websites. Today, it's potential clients. I mean, yesterday I was talking about how I'm right now in the process of trying to close a new $25,000 per month client for my current business. And so the reason I got that was from a relationship. It was a recommendation. Relationships are really everything. I could go into countless stories from the lessons that we learned from selling nicotine. I mean, there's literally hundreds. It was one of the best experiences I had from a business perspective. I would never do it again just because it's stupid. But we were doing it even cognitively when we were in high school, juniors in high school. We were thinking about it as a business and never as selling drugs because that's just not how we operate. Another thing is just how fast a great business model can scale. We started it with $57. Within 8 months, we were making tens of thousands of dollars. This entire business didn't even last 12 months. And at the end, we were left with $0 because everything was stolen uh, in a remarkable fashion. But we started with zero business experience, never even thinking about a business, put in $57, just reinvested every single dime that we got. We never took a single cent out of the business. We just kept on reinvesting, eventually started to hire people, built a team, scaled it. At the end, from starting with $57, selling out day one to 8-9 months later, before the business blew up, we were making like $10,000 in a week. So when you have a marketplace that has such high demand for a product, you can make so much money so quickly. And if we continue that, the compounding effect would have really taken place because we would have started to take money out of the business and start to do other things with it. But it all got stolen. And actually on my 18th birthday, which I took as a massive thank you because I didn't actually care about the money. I wanted to get out the game anyway, especially when I turned 18 because I guess it was actually illegal. But or if this happened when I turned 18, it would have been illegal. On my 18th birthday, everything got stolen. Someday I'll go into the story. Not today. Would I do it again? Absolutely never. None of that actually matters though. It's more so the lessons that we learned and now how I'm applying that to my current business and just the thought process of running a business and how it really is a remarkable thing.